Hey beginner gardeners, this is April from the Noble Garden, and this is our 10th episode of this series, and we are finally going to plant this garden. I do apologize, there has been a big gap between this video and the last. My weather just has not been cooperating around here, and I'm actually still having nights that are a little too chilly for tomatoes and peppers. So we're going to put everything in the garden today except for those two things, and when I am ready to put those things in, I will update you guys and let you guys know when. So, just a little backstory. I live in the westernish area of North Carolina. It's not the mountains, so it's not as cold in the mountains, but we do get pretty chilly nights. I'm in zone 7B, and technically my last frost date was, I think, yesterday or today. Today is April the 23rd, and just like it's a prediction, and we don't really have frost in the forecast, but we do have 40-degree nights. Last night was 40 degrees. I have a night, I think 2 nights from now, that's going to be 39. And those are just a little too close for my comfort. So I'm going to at least wait it out until it's like 44, 45, and then we'll get the tomatoes and peppers in the ground. So that being said, I also want to talk about square foot gardening. So this is my little square foot garden template. We talked about this in one of the other videos. I do apologize because I've changed my mind. I told you guys that this might not be the best way to start a garden as a beginner. I think I was wrong because I went to a community garden where I taught how to square foot garden to a bunch of new beginners, and it was very helpful for them because it gave them a guideline, like a guide how to do things, and it just was an easy system for them to follow. That being said, I'm actually going to do a square foot garden right here with you guys to see how it works and then see if it will fit your style. The other thing I will tell you is that I got this off of Amazon. I will put the link down below, but you do not have to start with this, guys. It took me years and years and years of seeing this thing on Amazon and finally diving in to get it. I do like it. It takes all my guesswork out. It does make things faster for me because it guides with the holes. But if you're beginning out and you don't know if you're going to do this permanently and you're just trying to see if you like it or not, grab you some cardboard, measure out 12 measure out 12 inches to make a square, of course, and then you can use that as a template. You can also cut you out a piece of plywood and do it that way, or you can simply take a ruler and actually measure it all out for yourself. You will have to figure out how far apart the holes need to be, so you have some math that you have to do with it. But before you dive in and buy something that you may not need in the future, just work with what you got. Now, if you know that gardening is something you want to do, or you don't care that you're spending money on something, this has been a lifesaver for me. I already went ahead and put our square feet in, and what I want you guys to think about when you're arranging a garden is, where is your sun coming up? As you can tell, my sun comes up from that way, and so it's going to come this way. That being said, I have to think about where the tallest plants are going to go. That would be the back. You're going to notice I have 2 poles in the ground, and that is because I'm going to trellis cucumbers, tomatoes, and green beans with you guys. I have the netting coming in the mail today, and when I go to put it up, I will make a video to show you guys. I've never used this netting before, but I want to see how it works. I've always used cattle panels and other type of cages, but I want to see how this works out because this might be a really good way for you guys to trellis on a cheaper budget than doing cattle panels. So we're going to test that out together. That is coming today, and we'll put it up in the next couple of days, like about the time I'm putting my tomatoes in. So the back row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's about 8 square feet. The top row here did not quite make a square foot. And what we're gonna do with this section right here is we're gonna plant marigolds and basil. So I plant marigolds and basil in my garden for pest control. Basil you can eat, marigolds, they stink, but they do bring in the pollinators. They do deter a lot of different bad bugs. They keep your deer and your rabbits out because they don't like the smell of it. So they have a beneficial use for the garden. And basil is another thing. It deters a lot of bad bugs. So, and then you can eat it. So everything that I'm putting in here has a reason for a system. So right here, where it's not quite a square foot, we'll put those along the edges there. In the middle here, we are gonna put squash, zucchini, and peppers. So squash and zucchini, you can grow them up. I've never been successful with that, and it's a lot more work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant them on the outside, so like a squash there, a zucchini here, and let them grow in that direction. So if they do go over the bed, it's no big deal. I am gonna give them a little bit more room than what you would see on a square foot garden guide, because that's another thing, guys. There's a lot of guys out there and they tell you different things. Some guides will tell you 1 square foot for this, 1 square for that. Other guys will tell you 2 square foot. You just have to think about how big the plant is, and if you don't know, just plant it. Next year you'll make the changes. This is all about experiencing with it. So from my knowledge of zucchini and squash, I'm gonna plant them, 1 here, 1 over there, and we'll let it grow out, and in the middle I'm gonna put pepper plants. The back row, we're gonna put 2 tomato plants, green beans, and cucumbers. So let's get started, guys. Let's get started with the back row. So I'm gonna leave myself some room for my tomato plants. Now, tomato plants are 1 per square foot. I'm gonna give them just a tiny bit more room than that. I'm gonna leave 3 square feet open for them because I do know that they are a bigger plant, and we will talk about tomatoes more as we go. So 1, 2, 3, we're gonna start right here. And I have a little helper. My children love gardening, and I will tell you, I've read a lot of stuff about gardening with children and how much children love square foot gardening because it's easy for them to learn. And I've been teaching them how to do it that way. So I'm gonna let her plant some green beans for us. We're gonna start with green beans, my bad.
Can I have 2?
You wanna help too? So green beans can be another one that you're gonna see different guidelines for. You can see 4, you can see 6, you can see 8. We are gonna put 4 to a square foot. All right, girls. Now, this right here, this right here is on this. So when you go to the blue, make sure you push it pretty.
Now we do the other one?
Do all the blues.
There's not much blue that's blue at all. That's it. This tool is really fun.
It is.
I hope I didn't hit any ones.
All right. So now this one's gonna be the same way, but give me a second. I'm gonna grab my camera, okay?
Okay.
So I brought you guys up closer so you can see what she's doing. But all she's doing is using this template to put a hole in the ground. We're using the blue holes because that means 4 to a square foot. All right, so these green beans, you're gonna put, you're gonna do cucumbers. I'm gonna do cucumbers.
So do I keep on doing
No, I said. So those 8 holes you made, you're gonna put a seed in. Each. It's technically 8.
Big.
They are big whole seeds.
So these are beans garden.
She's planting whole green beans, and that is a preference of mine. You can most definitely put yourself some bush green beans in, and you could probably even fit 8 to a square foot on those.
Whoa, I just found something interesting. Oh. What are these things on the ground? The wheel. And, oh, my tail fell off.
It's okay.
Which one did I do?
You should be able to see it in the hole, baby, if you look.
Yep, not this one. They're pretty deep in. One more here.
Leave her alone. She's got this.
What is this? I marked this one. Nope.
No, those are all tomatoes.
Okay, well then I marked all of those.
You put a seed in all of
Yep,
these?
all of them.
All right, well, now cover them up. So guys, the next thing we're going to do is cucumbers, and cucumbers are going to be a little bit hard because right now we do have this kale and lettuce and the square feet that I need to put cucumbers, but this lettuce and this kale will actually come up in the next few weeks or so because I'm going to harvest it. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and in between some areas of it, go ahead and put the cucumbers so the cucumbers can get started. I'm just honestly picking 2 random spots in the square foot, so I won't really measure it out as well as I did the other things. Cucumbers are 2 to a square foot. I will tell you guys that you're probably thinking the same thing that I just thought about. Yes, they're going to be a little bit slower to grow because right now they're being shadowed out. And when I go to harvest this stuff, I cannot just pull it out of the ground because it's going to affect those cucumbers. I'm going to have to cut them at the ground level and leave the roots in the ground, but that is okay because decaying roots are also really good for the soil, so I'm not going to worry about that. This is kind of how you maximize your space. This is another great thing about square foot gardening. As things come out, you can put more things in, so it all will work out. And I can't wait for you guys to see that. So I'm gonna let this little bit right here, who's dying to plant something, put our cucumber seeds in. Can you get the cucumber seeds for me, sweetie?
Is it these ones?
Nope, that's squash.
That's
Look.
that's cucumber.
That's cucumber right there. Hey, come here a little bit.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna have to show you where these holes are. All right, I'm gonna give you some seeds. Can I have paper clips so we keep up with it? Thank you, ma'am. Uh-oh.
Wow.
We only have 3 seeds and we have 4 holes. You're gonna have to go get another cucumber seed.
Uh-oh. Do I go get them?
Go look at the cucumbers and just pick a cucumber.
I
Come here,
got it.
come here a little bit. I'm gonna let you plant these 3.
I'm gonna go.
Gardening with children is so much fun. I'm gonna put these 3 seeds in. She's gonna go get her another seed. Or she's back. She's gonna plant them. It's okay. All right. So I put a hole right here.
Why is it so close to that plant?
It will grow. You'll see. You put a seed right there?
Yeah.
All right. Let me show you the other hole. Move so I can see sweetie. Put it right there. See where that hole is? You got it in there? Okay. Can you move for a second? There's the other hole right there. So then we gotta wait for Sissy's. When Sissy brings you another cucumber seed, look, the hole's right here, in between. See, it's right here. You see it? Just move these lettuces right there and put it right there. Okay, I'll let her finish that up, and I'm gonna work with you guys for everything else because this video is gonna be way longer if I keep letting them plant everything. But I really enjoy teaching them. I enjoyed that they're learning this. This is a very useful tool if you ask me, and what else better way to do it than learn at an early age. So let's get the squash and zucchini in and I'll talk about its placement.
I got it. Can I do one? Can I do the squash? I need the zucchini.
Can I just take the clip off?
Yep.
I got. Is there any seeds?
There should be a seed in there.
There's
You only need
lots
one.
of seeds.
You only need one, baby. When you get your one seed, there's a hole I put it in. This one. Look at the There's a hole I put right there.
I'm gonna use this seed I found on the
Yeah.
ground.
As long as it's the squash seed that you found on the ground.
Any more?
Put your packet on top of that spot.
Why?
You'll see in a second. All I have left now is to put the basil and the marigold in. And like I said, they're just gonna go in the front here. So guys, here is our garden put in. You'll notice that I left the packets down on the ground, and the reason why I did that is if you drew this out and you wrote in, that's fine, but if you didn't, pictures are always a best way to know what's going on in the garden as well. So when I'm done taking this video, I'm gonna take a picture showing exactly where I planted things. It also tells me what type I put in there in case I didn't write that down. You'll notice in the front here, we have our marigold, 2 basils, and another marigold. It does leave me some space. I can come in and either add another herb or another flower. I might actually put some radish in because radish can take 25 to 30 days and I still have time to plant something else behind it. I hope planting a garden with you and keeping up with it this summer is going to help. Whenever I'm ready to put up the netting and put the tomatoes and the pepper plants in, I will update you guys on how that's going. Thank you for watching.